The dream at the time was that we would each have our own forever home.
Cynthia Brooke bought this East Vancouver house in 2001 with their wife and another queer couple. Living with just a wall between them, the two couples lived like family in two separate units in this queer-friendly neighborhood.
I keep this little portion as a reminder over the last 20 years of where we've come. That's what the floor literally looked like when we moved into the house.
But in 2007, Cynthia's wife, Mariana, died of cancer, and their neighbor's spouse died in a plane crash 2 years later. The relationship between the widowers, separated by a wall, began to fall apart. But they owned both units together, and that led to an 11-year deadlock over the future of their shared home.
She decided to go to court to try and force the sale of both pieces of property. So I've only ever imagined that I would be here for the rest of my life. My wife, who passed away, that's all that she imagined. She died in this home. Her ashes are in the backyard, like in her garden that she created in this home. The lawsuit itself has really been extremely difficult because I have been medically retired by my doctor. I am disabled.
Cynthia says they believe they had little chance of winning the lawsuit, but in March, the judge ruled to decline the forced sale of the property, setting a legal precedent.
If you live in a particular queer positive community that's of importance to you, it will factor likely into future judges' decisions. And it's long been noted that having our own queer positive spaces is so vital to the mental health and well-being generally of queer individuals.
It reasserts that a disabled person has a right to remain in their home and not face the hardship of losing home. It specifically states that I have a right as a queer person to live in a neighborhood that's culturally significant to me.
I think it's just important that those particular identity factors are being actively considered by justices and likely will be in the future.
Oh, wow. Where did we just find the house?
Right here?
Right here. We're cooking together.
Potato.
Cynthia's partner, River, has been living with them for the last 13 years. They say this home has been a refuge for fellow queer folks and others in the neighborhood, hosting dinner parties and political gatherings. The court is now encouraging the owners to turn the house into a duplex or for the owners to buy each other out. It says a sale of the whole property is unnecessary because it's easy to divide. Dustin Clout says Cynthia's win means the courts are finally working for queer people beyond the realm of getting government benefits or fighting systemic oppression.
Why this case is significant is that, after years and years of advocacy from many different folks in the courts and in other fora, we can actually talk about other factors with respect to queer identity, like access to an inclusive community, and how the law should respond accordingly to that.
In Vancouver, Kier Junos, City News.